On the driver train. Oh, was he? Yeah. Well, that's what he's gone back to. Alex, you know Alex Ty?
Oh, yes.
Alex was on our bus today, and I went to Barnaby this morning. So
Yes, he was in the drive.
Anybody likes the raffle tickets?
Rob, could you use
How
now?
much are they, Chris? I'll have a couple of strips.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, go on. Have two, please.
No, Alex told me both of those this morning.
Right, yes.
Because is it this end of this week that the 21s are moving to Riverside?
Yes, yes.
Who's two?
Well, it's closed this week, isn't it? Just closed altogether on Sunday.
I can take it, yeah.
I'm trying to see if they've got a spare set of decker steps we can buy. You know, these 15s.
Oh yes, it would make things much easier.
Yeah, good to clean it and doing anyways, that. Sorry, go on. Sorry. I'll come back.
Can I get your room money, please?
How much is it?
£1, please.
I thought it had gone up to £2.
No, no, just £1.
I'll give you some of my scrap.
Oh no!
Oh, we've got to go and get our magazine signed for.
I'll have that nice shiny pound coin, please.
Go on, take that, because otherwise I'll make it.
Thank you.
Ideas of where you could hold one case. You can't use a transport.
At the minute, quite well. Big trouble. Not, I'm not.
You have yours electronic background, don't you?
I do, yes. Bongers, and I'll take one for Bong.
I hit start speaking button. I forgot to hit the new, they've updated the UI. I forgot to hit the go live button next to it. So yeah, it's there. It'll be on there eventually. On the replay thing. Yeah.
There'll be some.
Well, no, I wouldn't know. I wasn't there. Perfect, thank you. Go to that one.
Oh, that's fine, yeah. Thank
Did
you.
you go to that one? Did you go to Beamish when that was on?
No. I was in two minds about Beamish because I like to support Beamish. And I like to support.
Have I got everybody's
At the
pounds?
moment, well, if the idiot's in charge of it, I won't be going anywhere near.
I'm looking forward to, when is it, 3 weeks? 3 weeks Thursday?
What's
2
up in
weeks.
3 weeks? Isn't
Or has it been cancelled?
Anywhere has it been done yet? Chris, what are we on about?
Model bus?
That's what we've been gifted.
Oh, yes. Come
Oh, come along, Graham, wakey, wakey.
Yeah,
Thursday.
it may have to be cancelled yet because we haven't got the vehicles running.
Oh,
I might have sent to John Atkin.
What we're doing?
Vehicle restorations.
I can do you a deal, you know, involving that Baton and Corn.
yes.
I'll have to look into it. Yeah, should we have a look? Just it's 1.69 per transaction.
Following on.
1.69.
Because Neil had something on, it should have been Thursday this week, but Neil's got something on, so it's next week.
It's the same idea.
Because I saw them, Neil and Gordon, because they were obviously had their stall. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have a play with it.
But I've had quite a bit of help from Gordon over this.
Yes.
I emailed him one, he said if you have any problems with anything else, and there was one that was a real puzzle,
Right.
and he ended up apparently, he found the answer. He woke up in the middle of the night and remembered it, and he caused quite a kerfuffle. He was writing it down in the middle of the night.
Follow the browser, yes. Try and look at YouTube Studio and it falls over. It's on the edge of...
You know what he's like, he likes to get it precise about what
Oh, that's right, yes.
And it all resulted back to he had a photograph which he'd taken in Windsor Great Park when did they have some big bus event there a few years back?
Right, okay, Mr. Chris, would you like the honour of drawing that?
Draw your own, Chris. Draw your own.
Start throwing.
486 to 490.
That's not mine.
Somebody's got it, definitely.
Someone back at the road.
486 to 490.
Yeah, that'd be mine. Draw another one.
And again, Chris.
Can I draw another one, Mr. Singh?
Oh, got the back.
441 through to 445. Hey, what would you like, Mr. John?
Pound of sausage.
Bedford OB, ACRT or Bucon?
I'll have a vote. You'll have the vote.
Okay, so
Right, John? Yeah, the 40.
I've got another set of numbers there, you know.
Yeah. Disqualified if you draw your own.
471 to 475.
Oh, right, yeah.
thank you, Mr. Allen. Thank you. Down there. Which would you like, an RT or a Bedford OB?
Oh, the RT.
Yes, that's the shoe.
Sell it
So one
on.
more ticket to draw.
Sell it on to Norman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alan, do you want to draw that?
Soft ways. I just bought on internet as a magazine with 160 odd pages.
461, 465.
1929.
461 to 465.
All different types of buses, chassis, etc. I'm looking forward to having a read of that.
Yes.
For Bedford OB, it's an older than-
Yes, I'm needing a soup casket, John, for an AEC route master.
Oh, you mixed up.
Right.
I'll get dead tickets before we go any further.
Right.
Dead
Trying to get one
tickets.
to be television.
You don't want them any more, Graham, do you?
No, thank you.
So I think the idea is to take it off, clean it up,
Oh,
Dead
roasting
tickets,
stuff
dead
around it,
tickets.
trying to signal it up.
is that the same engine?
6 hours a week, no different. But they're saying this is
Dead tickets.
This time out all over the floor.
Bill, do you like the way I've done my notes?
All over the floor.
Well, I realised after I putting them in,
Well,
it sets them automatically sets them alphabetically. So I cut my notes up and clipped them.
Suspend the pitch when it was drawn.
Need a word processor, Chris.
And I need it, yeah, and I need it, I need it at the end of September. Got the MBF coming up. Bill, I'm just wondering when, if you do this Saturday morning thing with Aycliffe and, sorry, Sunday morning thing with Aycliffe and District.
Yeah.
Maybe we could combine a visit to the Eden as well.
Yeah.
Get there last month when
Yeah.
Very sorry about that.
Word
well,
with
no,
you.
it wasn't, I had COVID, so.
Yes, but you did hear what the other couple over it,
Well,
did
yeah,
you?
yeah, you went halfway around the country to try and get there.
Oh.
Okay, everybody,
Thanks,
time some margin on, sorry. Remember that our original plans for July and August were that we're going to have a trip out, guided by Chris here, and have a tour around the Independence west of Bishop Auckland, wasn't it? To be followed by a talk the next month, giving some of the historical background and photos and so on. Let's just leave it at Chris had an absolute nightmare time trying to get back from London.
9.5 hours.
9.5 hours to get from London to Darlington via Preston,
Euston, Preston, Carlisle and Newcastle.
Carlisle and Newcastle and all points in between. Absolute nightmare. So obviously the tour we did something different. Wondered about this month, and Chris very kindly volunteered to give a rather more wide-ranging talk covering all independence in the northeast,
Yes.
really, isn't
Or
it,
some of
Chris?
them, Bill.
Some of them, sorry. A few more for a later talk, perhaps. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll give you Chris Mills.
Right.
Right.
Good evening.
Can you see that, Chris?
Just about.
Can we have a bit of light on so we can see his nose?
That's enough. Yeah. Thank you. This is a Volvo B58 Claxton, new in 1976 to West Yorkshire PTE, that one. Right, next one, John. Andersons of Westerhope again. I'll tell you the registration number of this one as you cannot see it. GON 351N. Leyland Leopard with a Marshall body, new in 1974 to Midland Red. And the date of this slide is the 8th of February 1992 in Newcastle. Next one, John. Yeah, Andersons of Westerhope again. You can see the reg on that one. I'll say the LGR 51T, a Bedford YMT Willowbrook, which was actually new to them in '78. And that photo was taken when it was new. Armstrongs of Ebchester next. I'll say the number of that again because you can't see it very well. RUP 365M. Leyland Leopard with, that's Claxton Derwent, isn't it, Graham? Yeah, it's Claxton. Armstrongs in 1974. Next.
Where was that one, please, Chris?
It didn't say on the slide, Bill.
All right. Okay.
Some of them we can tell, some we can't. New in 87, and the photo was, this slide was dated December 87, so it's obviously only just taken to the road then. An older one of Armstrong's, ex-London Transport, and when it was London Transport it was RTL 669 its number. AEC Leyland, 7RT with a Metro Camel body, new in 1950. Well, you're getting ahead of yourself here, John.
Connected were.
Eh?
Shall we go back?
No. Now this is Armstrong's, but this is Armstrong's of Westerhope. The colours remind me very much of the coach colours of United. WJR 853J, a Bedford SP5 Plaxton, new in 1970, and the photo this slide was from June 1975, and nobody needs telling where the location is. We go much further north now. This is Batty's Scotch Gap. TAR 175S, a Bedford YRQ with a duple body. Now this was a peculiar owner in the first place. It was new in 1971 to the Spanish-speaking school in WC1. Presumably they must have used it to take their students around. And the date of that is the 4th of October 1975.
So there's a bus to its right.
Pass on that. All you can see is it says, I can guess it because the destination of the one next door says St Mary's Hospital, and later on we will have a St Mary's Hospital one which was Tate's, but a different bus.
It's a four, isn't it?
Which the last one.
The last one.
We now go to quite an eclectic mix in the next few photographs. Bedlington. The one at the beginning is 960 PRR, a Regent 5 Northern Counties, new in 1965 to Barton. You can pick out what you like of the rest, but they're quite a mixed bunch, shall we say. There are a pair of better ones. DUA 36381C and FUA 392C. The DUA one is a Renown with a Wayman body. Sorry, AEC with a Wayman. I can't even read my notes now. And the FUA one is an AEC with a Northern Counties body, both of them ex-Nottingham, and the date on this slide was December 1978.
So I'm guessing Bedlington must have based their livery on Nottingham because there's fleet lines in that colour, wasn't there, as well, and DMSs.
Yes, you'll see later on, because the one or two coaches that they had, which they obviously used for, shall we say, a little bit better services, they painted in that green and that colour as well. But some stuff which was minor service, I think they didn't bother to paint at all. Right, next, John. Now this slide's a little bit dark, but I would say they're in the same colours as the previous one. These are two Daimlers that were ex-London. The one on the left is with a part, they're both Daimlers. The one on the left is with a part roll body. The one on the right is an MCW body. But they look very similar, so I presume that was London Transport's specification. And that was dated, oh no it isn't, they were new in 73, but there was no date on that one. Now these are a pair of oddball ones. 281 DWN and 279 DWN, AEC Regent 5s with row bodies, new in 1963 to South Wales. They had 4 of these for a service under a low railway bridge.
Are they double deckers chopped down?
No, they were built like that, bro. It was for a low bridge somewhere in South Wales. No, if you look in the buses site for brand new, they were only single deckers.
I think Leeds council, not Leeds City Transport, but Leeds Council bought at least one like that from Rowe for use for, I'm not sure exactly what, for ferrying people around, you know, perhaps disabled people or whatever, but they weren't public service vehicles as such, but I think there was at least one of them like that.
Right, now we've got 684 VRR AEC Reliance Harrington body, new in June 64 to Barton on the left. And on the right we've got TUH 365, which is a bridge master with Park Royal, new to Cardiff Corporation in 1960. Now this is the one I'm talking about. This is their coach and livery, because this was AWA 354B, which was Reliance with Plaxton body, which had been new in May 64 to Sheffield United Tours. And it was with Bedlington in this colour scheme by February 1977.
But they had a hell of a job keeping that clean in that yard.
So we've got a state of the art as well, James.
Well, I'm told by other people. Now then. Yeah, Bowman's. Now, I believe the next two are Bowman's of Birtley, but I believe they were part of the same family, the ones that had the haulage business in Shildon.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I
You
know-
remember the haulage business at Shildon and the
Yeah.
museum?
Yes.
But if you've read in some of the transport books, there was a connection with Birtley.
Right.
So I presume it was part of this. I might be wrong. I think it's probably part of the same family. This one is a Leyland Leopard Plaxton, new in 72 to Limebourne in London, and this photo was taken in October 87. Next, John. Bowman's again. AWJ 688M, because you can't see it there. And that's a Bristol LHL with Plaxton. New in 74 to Sims of Sheffield. And this photo was taken 24th of August 85 in Station Lane, Birtley. Now this one, John, this is the one I was telling you about yesterday.
Oh yeah.
This is, in this state, even though it's got an Intersun on it, is Browns of Durham operating National Express service. But it had been new in 1984 to Mowbray's at Stanley. YJF 505. Now, this is a lag PC stroke lag. Are you aware of these, Graham?
No, I'm smiling for some total different reason, that's all.
Right. Well, lag, if you look down the chassis list in buses, lag is a separate company.
Yeah, they did some integrals, I think.
Yeah, and they were all integral, but it was a lag panoramic integral single deck coach. But if you look at the photo, the engine on the propulsion on that one must be DAF, because you can see the DAF symbol at the front. And that photo was taken at Gallowgate in 87, and the sticker on the front is on hire to National Express.
Yeah. Brown's also had another little breakaway company called Interliquidation.
All right, that's what you were chuckling about. Well, I put it in, Graham, because it was such an unusual.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, Intersun went bust as well, didn't they?
Mm.
They also went bust. So the airline.
Now this is Burroughs, BAJ 222L Ford R226 Plaxton. New in 1972 to Atkinson's. This photo is dated September 83. Now, in the background, the cream and red one we shall see shortly, and in the same spot, and I think that is either Barney or Middleton Mart, because the coach behind was from Dewitt's from Middleton Teesdale. I might be wrong, but it's got the look of it, hasn't it? The building.
It does, yeah.
But it doesn't say.
Is that building where Morrison's now is? the building at the side of the two coaches. Is that where Morrison's now stands?
Are you thinking it's the sale room rather than the cattle mart? I'm going by the stone wall thinking it might be the cattle mart across the other side.
All right, right.
Anyway, we won't argue over that one. Next. This is Burrows again. GUB 941Y. Volvo B10M Plaxton. New in 73 to Lunds of Rothwell. And this slide is dated July 85 in Leeds. If I was to look at that, I would have said that was the Students' Union in Durham.
Yeah, it looks just like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what. Now this one. Now there's a tail to this one. It's cosy, but it's not
Not the Durham one.
the Durham cosy. I asked Gordon Wigham about this one, and this is a good tale of where you've got to do your research, and you can sometimes go the wrong direction. Because when you look at it closely, it's got a Plaxton Bill poster in the window. Can you see it on the left? And Gordon thinks it was possibly at a Scarborough event. But the date on this slide is October 1973. But the Cosy Coaches that it went to was a firm in Poole in Dorset, who had 3 of them. None of them with that registration number, because that registration number doesn't exist. But none of them were registered till the following March. So we think it was a registration put on it to show it off before it was new. You know, before it was registered. Yeah. Because that photo was taken 5 months before it was actually registered.
I think TK was at Plymouth Mark, wasn't it?
TK is yes, somewhere down that way, and then when it was properly registered it was TJ, which was a Liverpool mark. No, this is a Cosy Coaches of Meadowfield, this one. TUP 40K, Bedford YRQ with Duple, new in 1972, and that photograph says it was taken in York, which you can see some of the wall behind.
Oh, I understand what that is now, yeah.
Is that not far off the station? Or Bedford?
No, I think it's around the east side.
Is it near St John's College?
Yeah,
St John's College.
yeah, it's on that the road that comes up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's where.
No, he's trying to see camper van.
Right, next, John. Now the company that were running this one at the time were Derwentside,
Stanley, isn't it?
which is, the owner was a D. Connell, Derwentside.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
SHG 124K, Seddon Pennine with Seddon body, ex-demonstrator that after demonstration went originally to Burnley, and it was new in 72. Right, Don Smiths of Merton, NCK 921, Volvo, Van Hall, Gallowgate again. On National Express, you can see it at the top of the window there. Next. Now I've put this one in because I didn't have any photographs of this company from Crook. But this was owned by a company in Crook. But that photograph is taken on the Isle of Wight.
Is it ex-Pinningtons? or
Correct,
somebody?
Graham,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And because I hadn't got anything else of them, I put it in. APT 760 Bedford RTL Plaxton, new in 73.
Well, old man Pinnington died, and the first thing that Jimmy Pinnington did when he inherited the business was sold the coach side of it off and retained the, for want of a better term, the depot. And he's just, some sort of 50 years later, he just recently sold that in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I was going to say it was still a yard, wasn't it, up till recently?
He's just sold it, yeah.
Mm.
And I believe it's to be pulled down.
Right, Franks of Haswell Plough, DGR 15S, but that, as you can see, that's on service. Easington Lane. New in 78 to Fulton's at Langley Park, but this photo was November 87. Not a very good shot, but an older shot, and I thought one or two people might like to look at the cars there, namely Mr. Hall. Gardeners of Spennymoor, MPT 532J, Ford R226 Duple, new to Gardeners in 71.
That's not Gardener's Yard, what is it? So I don't know where that's.
No, it. Gardeners again, VGR 571V, Volvo B58 Plaxton, new in 80. This was September 89. Bishop Bus Station, isn't it, Graham?
It is, yeah.
On the number 6. Gardeners did it at that time, did they?
It's news to me, yeah. I knew they did do some services, but yeah, I didn't know they did that one.
Well, you look at the next service bus then. Next, John.
Ah, yes, I remember these.
D56 KTX, Fiat Catano, is that right?
Catano,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ex-Beebs of Don't Ask Me How to Pronounce It, are placed in Wales, new in 1986.
It's high going on. They weren't as bad as what they looked.
In the buses list, they've got Fiat on them.
Terrible. Peggy Martindale had one. She was as bad as she looked. Did you ever come across Peggy Martindale?
Did you?
Sadly, yes. She phoned me up and made threats when I said that we operated because I was taking her business from the taxi side of things. Yes.
Gardeners again, E491HHN, Volvo B10M Plaxton again, new 87, and this photo was May 89, but I don't know where. I'm looking to the coach to the left, which is very much marked like East Kent coaches were after privatisation.
Right.
So it could have been on a trip somewhere.
Well, actually, it's got a blue roof. It looks as though it could be, what do they call it? Run in Durham. Come chop of earth from Langley Park and that way. Gypsy Queen, yeah. It looks as though it could be Gypsy Queen.
Right, yes. Gardeners again. G92917GTG, Mercedes Optare, 1989, to Jones of Pontypridd. There again, Bishop Bus Station.
Bus station again.
Not changing much, does it?
City service, is that? Does that say a city
Yes.
service? Spelled it wrong.
General, or what was his other name? Atkinson?
I just knew there was General.
It was General was the bus company, but was not the proprietor named the name of
Oh,
Atkinson.
I don't know.
Is that Magdalene Simmons or something?
Chesterley Street.
Builders merchant.
That's right,
It's
They had two incarnations of General, didn't they?
Leyland Leopard Marshall, and this one had been new in 1965 for Ribble. But the one next door looks as though it's trundled its last mile.
Sorry, yards trundled its last night.
Right, next.
Oh dear.
AUE 309J, Leyland Panther Marshall, new 1970, to Birmingham and Midland omnibus services, but it had been ordered by Stratford Blue before Stratford Blue was taken over by them. And this photograph was in Chesterley Street in 1983.
Right, looks like a bit of a greenhouse.
I saw that vehicle in Maltby auctions, painted blue and red, and it had bars over the windows.
There's
So it
no,
might have been used in the infamous miners' strike at the time.
there's
It was
nothing
up for
worse.
disposal at Maltby, about 1985.
There's nothing worse than buses without desks in.
What's wrong with a bit of paper on the windscreen, like?
DYP 745J, Bedford SB5 Plaxton, new in 1970 to Foxford Hayes, Middlesex. And I think everybody can recognise that with the National Savings Building on the left, on the bridge at Durham.
Viva behind it. And some not to
Viva HC.
Right, next, John. General again, KDM 760T, Bedford YMT Duple, new in 1971. Right. Now we come to the yard that is still a jumbled yard now. Where's this one, Graham?
Reasons.
Yes. VO,
That we started for 10.
VAO 387, a Bristol LD6 ECW, new in 59 to Cumberland. And also in the picture UJF 183, a Daimler Metro Camel, new in 59 to Leicester.
To be fair, they look in good nick.
Mm.
I think that was probably when the father was still living it, maybe.
Well, you'll be impressed with one in a minute that they've actually repainted in a minute. Hang on. This is 4369 UP.
No.
No.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I've got the wrong one down.
It's V8 or 387.
That's the one that's just been, it was red in the previous one.
Oh yes, sorry, yes, it's the same. Yeah, also yes, I've got to put them on that there. And also the second picture is in April 77.
Might look nicer in red.
Yeah, well that was in 1974. Right, next one. Right, now we get it right. 4369 UP, Leyland PDR, Metro Camel, new to Northern in 63. And the one just to its right is 9032 PT, Leyland PDR with a row body, new in 62 to Northern. And that photo was April 79.
Now that one, 9032 PT, was in a scrapyard at Greetham for nearly a decade. And we photographed it a couple of times.
In this colour scheme still, Chris?
That colour scheme still, yeah. It had no wheels or no engine or engine covers, it was just the body showed it. If you'd had a lot of money, you could have saved it.
But at that time, they alright, they weren't pristine, but they looked respectable, didn't they? Not like some of them that you see come from there these days.
They'll still be there.
No, Chris, as it's in the...
No, but the rest will be.
Oh. Now we're going to Amble. Craigs of Amble. TFT 101S. Bedford YMT Duple. New 78 in 78. This photograph was 29th of February 80. And the route was Alnwick to Amble. You can just about pick it out otherwise. Right, next. Craigs again, WNL 776T, Bedford YLQ Plaxton, and that had been new in 79, that one. Oh yeah, LGB 854V, Volvo B58 Plaxton, ex Parks of Hamilton, that's Craig's again. Craig's again, OTY 727M, Bedford YRT Willowbrook, new 74, and that's Alnwick in 1980.
We've missed one.
No, I think you've had the right ones but in the wrong order. I went with those correct ones.
Yeah. You had the two. I gave you the notes in the order that they came up on there.
Oh, right. Just flick back to the first one then, please. Which one was that?
Yeah, so that's the one you read out last, I think.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that one.
that's the one.
And then you get LGB.
Yeah, LGB, yeah.
And then OTY.
OTY, yeah.
Right, John? I cobbled my notes to make sure I'd got it right. Right, next. Coopers of Anexford, JFT 412X, Bedford YMQ Duple. New 1981 to Coopers. Location Gallagate, September 87. Now people in the preserve world will probably twig that this bus still exists and still roadworthy.
413 extras as well. It's PTE Scania.
We once went to Henry Cooper's on a
Yes, but it's,
EBPT
yeah,
night out.
but it's not at Henry Cooper's anymore.
No, it isn't, no. But we went on an EBPT night out, and one of the places we went to was Henry Cooper's. We went for a ride out on this little coach, and it was a lovely little thing, like.
What, this one?
Yeah.
Well, it's still in existence and it's still used, and it's now with Dews of Somersham, which I think is in East Anglia, isn't it?
I couldn't tell you.
It's in a beautiful green colour because I looked it up. Coopers again, C4170TN, a Volvo B10 Plaxton, new in 1986 to Greaves, and that's Gallagate again. Now there's a little story with this one. If people look on the bus's site, they will have probably seen this photo, because Stewie asked if he could put it on. Come on, Graham, tell us where that is.
I haven't a clue.
Well, you should do. It's the short-lived Spennymoor bus station.
I don't think it is.
It's
No.
the same stop as where that lovely Jewett's photograph that I've got.
I'm fairly sure that's not Spennymoor bus station.
Where is it then?
I haven't got a clue, but it's definitely
Where,
not.
I'll tell you what, I got you a good clue. Where did the 45 go to the other end?
Well, Bong would have been able to tell you.
Yeah, it goes to Brandon, the other end. Stewie, I've got the information from Stewie on this one. This was new
Yeah,
to
well-
Humphreys of Brandon Colliery,
Right.
Bedford YRQ Claxton, new in 75, because they won the contract to run the 45 from Spennymoor to Brandon, which had originally been a miners' service, and then Northern took it over after that, because Stewie said he, in his early days in Northern, he drove on that route.
Yeah, it used to go around Greenways and places like that. It could be Greenways, I suppose. It's definitely not the bus station, like.
We'll leave that one. But anyway, that was a short-lived. It was bought particularly specifically for that route,
Right.
presumably on Brush Grant time. Would that have been
Well,
75?
Humphreys was for sale. If Bong had been here, he would have been telling me that the fact that him and his father went to view the business, yeah, with a view to buying it. Didn't happen.
Yes, because he put a comment on Bus's site about it.
Right.
Did you not see that one? No, you missed
I'm
that
not
one.
on buses. I'm not on
Oh,
buses.
right.
Bus is now faced them.
Yeah, I haven't got a triangular head.
Sorry. Hunters of Tantoby. YVA 872. Reliance. Duple, but is it the Britannia, that one?
I don't know. It's a little bit before my time, Chris.
New in 61 to Hutchinson's of Overtown. And that's Hunters, Tantoby Depot.
Tantoby, all right.
Well, we went up there on a fish and chip, didn't we, one night to look at them? Do you remember?
I don't
Just
know.
before they sold
I
up.
saw this all up. All right.
Mm. Hunters of Tantoby NUP 970J, Bedford YRQ Willowbrook. New in 76, and that photo was taken 78. And with the other buses at the back, I presume that's probably Stanley bus station.
Yeah, these were still there that night we went up. I remember now.
Yes.
They were still there, parked in the yard.
Yeah, but they'd actually shut, hadn't they? I think.
They
Or
were
about-
shut or about to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hunters of Tantobia again, WPT 445V, Bedford YMT Duple, new in 1980, and this photo was dated June 1980.
I always thought they had a very smart fleet.
I thought the colours were. JUP 189T, Bedford YMT Duple, 78, and depot picture in 79.
Yeah, they had two of them Jubals. They were the what was parked in the yard, not the other one. Them that was parked in the yard. Two of them.
And they must have ended up towards the end of their time with these. F421 GAT Mercedes Reeve Burgess, new 89 to East Yorkshire,
East Yorkshire. Aye.
new in July 2000.
They got one and we got one at the same time.
What, from East Yorkshire?
Well, we didn't. We bought it off Stanley Buses, but they were from the same batch.
709.
Yeah.
Hunters of Seaton Delaval,
What do you think you make money with?
DLH 316L, Daimler CRG8 MCW, new in 72 to London Transport. Also, the one on the left, you can't see the number plate very well, but when you blow it up you can, is JHA 81E, a Daimler with Alexander body XBMO. Next. Hunters of Seaton Delaval, ETY 912, Leyland PD2 Leyland, new in 51. And surprisingly, this was still in their colours, and whether they were using it or just for rallies, I don't know, because this slide was dated 1972. VTY 360, AEC Reliance Plaxton, new to Hunters in 1962.
Plaxton Highway. Short one.
Doesn't look that long, does it?
No, it's a short one. They did two sizes.
Hunters again, DBC 189C, AEC Regent East Lancs, new in 1965 to Leicester. And the one on the right, NDK 679G, a Leyland Leopard Duple Northern, new in 69, to pick up of Northern, wherever that was, and that was dated April 77. This one, KJX 679N, Seddon Pennine Alexander, new in 75 to Scottish Omnibus, and the one on the left, HNB 54N, Leyland Atlantean Northern Counties, ex-Manchester, new in 75, and that photo was done in June 1988. Smiths of Amble, YPT 501L, Bedford YRT Plaxton, but new in 1973 to, come on Graham,
What's the registration?
YPT 501L.
No idea.
Simpson and Cox, which was Gypsy Queen, was it not?
Queen, was it?
Mm. But they were officially in the thing as Simpson and Cox.
Right.
Mm. Next. J.M. Smith of Amble again. RJR 99M, Bedford VAS 5 Duple, new to them in 1974.
It's a sexy little thing, isn't it?
Mm. Jewitts of Spennymoor, LPT 42, Maudsley Marathon 3 Birmingham, new in 1950, and this slide is dated April 1963. Now we go to the other Jewitts, Middleton in Teesdale. Market Day Service, TPT 972K, Bedford YRQ Duple, new in 72, and this was taken on 23rd of September 81, and that's Woodley, which used to be the council offices, round the corner from the post office in Barney. You know, the side street between the post office
Right.
and the park, which is where the Market Day Service buses used to park. Next. RUP 979M. Bedford YR2 Duple, new in 74 to Barrel of Hertford. Now also in this picture on the right is JNK 554N, a DAF Duple, new in 75 to Elliot of Appleby. Now the bus says Langdon Beck on it, but I'm wondering quite where that photo was taken with there being an Appleby bus there as well. Jewetts again.
This is different Jewett. This is Jewett's of Chollerford.
Is it this one? Oh, sorry, I don't. It doesn't say on it.
They actually still had that till very recently. This thing, Jewett's Chollerford. There's a 4 Jewetts, I think, isn't there, something like that.
Sorry.
I think there's about 4 Jewetts in the north east.
But it doesn't have it. It has it on the buses site, John, is being the Middleton one.
No, definitely.
Well, unless they were linked when they left Middleton.
Maybe.
It's a Dennis Javelin with Olvart or whatever you call it.
Neoplan.
Oh yes.
Artois Neoplan, whatever they call it.
And that was taken at Fleetwood in 2002. So where do you say that one? Oh, I haven't got a pen here.
Jewett's of Chollerford, which are up past Hexham.
HBB 830W. Now I took great difficulty in trying to find him and then realised that they'd actually changed the number from BGR 682W. Why they did it when it had the same year's registration, I don't know. But they did 2 of them, but changed them for the same year's registration.
Right.
That was sort of a jolly, had some roundabout that registration, isn't there? BGRW.
Which is the one on the left hand side, that's got like a private website, isn't it?
No, it's HRF 1X.
1V. 1V.
I've got my reading glasses on.
Is that an Irish one or the
No, it'll be.
No, it'll be
Isle of Man or something?
no, be normal plate.
Is it?
These
Somebody was
Back in them
just,
days, it wasn't expensive to get plates like that.
So you just choose your own plate, could you?
Pretty much, yeah. Sweet talk the girl behind the desk at the.
Alright.
If certain companies like East Kent only never had fleet numbers because they always used to talk the licensing office into letting them have consecutive numbers so that the registration number was always like the fleet number.
So it saved them putting it on, writing it on the bus.
They never did have fleet numbers.
okay with the same, they
Mm.
never had fleet numbers.
Well, they changed some of their regis, didn't they,
They
to
did.
make them sit in.
Yeah, they just went on the numbers on the plate.
Anyway, sorry, that was Bedford YMT Plaxton, which was new to Jewett's. Jewett's again, UGR 679W, Bedford YMT Plaxton, 1977. And I can't tell you where that one is. It just says Teesdale.
Rigby Road Garages is the name on the Saab dealership behind.
Must be Blackpool then.
Well, that would be quite a possible destination, wouldn't it? Mm. Kingsways of Langley Park, FPT 605C, Bedford SB5 Duple. Now, what that writing across the front is supposed to mean, I do not know.
Press,
Latin.
Latin, press, Latin.
I can't even see it from
Is that what it is?
Something omnibus.
Yeah.
Says omnibus.
Yeah,
NONSIB.
yeah, non-super said omnibus, that was on holiday bus.
What does it mean?
I
I thought you spoke Latin. You mean you've made it up all this time?
Caught out.
I am, of course.
I did know, but I can't remember.
Bella Vega, aren't they?
Mm.
But they owned 370 anyway.
quite a bonny paint scheme now, isn't it?
Very
Was-
reminiscent of
is that-
Martindale's
is
at
that
Berry Hill.
Brian in the bumper at the bottom?
Yes, yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right rolled over, did it?
It is.
Nightingales OUP 747K Bedford YRQ duple, but it had been new in 1971 to Cozy. O'Hara's new in 79 to Smiths of Alchester, which is Warwickshire. Next, I think this is a smart one.
Duple laser.
Hmm.
Very nice.
Bedford YNT duple, B629KRY, new in 84 to O'Hara, and this photo was taken in September 84, so I presume they'd hardly ever used it by then.
Non-city said omnibus means not for himself but for everyone.
Ah.
Oh,
So there we are.
oh, thank you. Priories of North Shields, MYG 761K, Bedford YRQ Plaxton, new 72. But this bus had been new to Laycox in Barnleswick, which was taken over by Pennine. Pennine took over Laycox service buses. Do you not know of Laycox?
No, I don't know him at all. Bollywood probably know it.
Mm.
I don't know. Is it okay?
Yes, there is, but it's just wondering, it looks very dirty. Raisbeck of Morpeth, DNL 498K Bedford YRQ Willowbrook, 72, and NTY 500M Bedford YRQ Duple, also new in 72.
My first Land Rover was NGY 530.
They were very underpowered, them Bedfords on them W1 bodies.
Looks just like 372, Chris.
CRG 405Y Bedford YNQ Duple, new in 1980 to Morpeth. But that's quite a short one, Graham, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
Mm.
Dominant too.
Mm. Presume they bought it for a service route. Had it new. Raisbeck again, VRG 681T Bedford YRQ Duple, new in 78. And this was May 1980 that photo was taken.
I always thought these looked far better with the grand doors on like that.
I always thought they looked vastly superior to a Supreme.
Mm. Yeah. Sadly they didn't last as long.
No. Finest Blackpool steel.
JUA 300E. At one stage this bus belonged to Roberts of Wingate, that's why I put it in. But by then it was originally Wallace Arnold, and then it came to Roberts, and it ended up at the Vale of Llangollen by 1981. Vale and Leopard Plaxton. Roberts again, KEH 133K Bedford YRQ Duple. New in 71 to Proctors of Hanley, and this was taken May 1976 at Roker. And with all those coaches, I would think it was probably for the football.
Or club trip.
Well, I'm thinking May, the end of the football season. That was my. Could have been, yeah. Roberts again, NPT 672M Bedford YRT Plaxton, new in 73. Two Roberts, that one. Now we get this right. Is it Rochester Marshall?
And Marshall.
Yes. Part by then part of Mordow Curtis.
Rochester.
Yeah. Rochester rather than Rochester.
Rochester and Marshall, yeah.
351 GTN Bedford C5Z1 Duple. New in 59 to the Mordow group. And that photo was taken in February 76. It looks a bit frosty, doesn't it?
Ice is on the inside of the windows and not the outside.
Well, that's the car park with it at the bottom of the bank, isn't it, at Hexham? Rochester and Marshall again, NTY 742M, Bedford VAS 5, Plaxton, new in 73. And this photo was taken in October 78 at Hexham. Rochester and Marshall again, ERJ 388. Oh no, I've gone the wrong way round here.
That's the two back, Joe. That's that one.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got my notes the wrong way round here, John. This one is EJR 388L, Bedford SB5, Willowbrook 72. Go on, there we go. Then I've got that one right. Now this because I knew this one didn't have a prefix on it. 351 GTM, Bedford C5Z1 Duple, new in 59. And that photo was taken in 76. Sorry about that. Now this is one that most people will know, but this was an in-service shot because it's dated 72. It still resides in that same shed. Yeah, to this day.
Yeah.
Right, next. Now then, you Teesside people want to look eagerly here. Snowden's XNA 754S Ford R114 Plaxton, new in 78 to Shearings, and this was at Whitworth Hall, May 87 for a bus rally. Now, the next vehicle, if John can bring it up a little bit, Peter Chan something, Stockton on Tees.
Sandoz, is it?
And it was KJH 492, a Bedford OP Duple, new in 49 to Albanian of St Albans. But it says glorious and safe returns.
Yeah, they pinched that, haven't they?
Glorious something. There's some
Glorious tours and safe returns. That
But
used
it's
to be
Peter somebody, Stockton on Tees.
Peter Shandoz.
Was it not Chandler or something like that? Chandler. That slogan's been pinched because that was Scott Square's slogan, wasn't it?
Sturks of Staindrop, WLJ 577K Ford 192 Plaxton, new in 72 to AC of Bournemouth. And that was, photograph was Washington Services, June 84. Now this is the one, Graham, Summerson's. TPT 436K, Bedford YRQ Willowbrook, 72.
I'm not quite sure why it's like that. Like, it was definitely the Eden, but why it would have Somerset written on and why it's in that livery, I can never remember being in that livery. Yeah, the picture doesn't lie unless it's been photoshopped. Just to wind me up.
Well, I don't think it was in Photoshop on one that was done in 1972.
Unless it was done this week.
No, I don't know how to Photoshop, so you're all right with that one. Tapes. A nice rear view here. OKY 75R is a Bedford YM2 Duple, new in 77 to National Travel North. The centre one is KTN 775P Bedford YRQ Duple, and the left hand one is KJR 480P Bedford YRQ Willowbrook, new in 75. Takes again KJR 408P, which was just in the back of it, the front, Bedford YRQ Willowbrook 75, new in 76. Now, this is the one that's got St Mary's Hospital on it, and it's very similar colour to the one we saw earlier. That was, we could only see half of it. So I think that other bus that we could see on the Battis photo
Yes.
would have been, and it's the right part of the county, isn't it? Tyne Valley, Central Station, TNL 428S, Leyland Leopard Plaxton, new 78 to Tyne Valley, and this photo was taken October 78. Next. Tyne Valley again, HVK 186N, Leyland Leopard Plaxton, new 78 to Tyne Valley, and this was taken on August 1980 at Hexham Bus Station, or the old Hexham Bus Station. Tyne Valley again, ETY 535L Bedford YRQ Claxton, new 72, and this was taken at Hexham Bus Station in August 79. It was taken April 1976 at Haymarket. You can see the Scottish one. Basers again, UNL 271T Bedford YMT Duple, new 78, and the photo was taken August 79 at the depot. Bases again, YEO 372V Bedford YMT Moseley, 1979 to Percival's of Barrow, and this photo was taken at Morpeth in September 86. Wansbeck of Ashington, no, he's not put it, he's hanging his fag out of his mouth, is he, when he's driving there? Bedford YMT Plaxton, BCU 23V, new in 1980 to Wansbeck. Wansbeck again, PTY 29Y Bedford YNT Plaxton. And what type of Plaxton is that one, Graham? It's a bit different shape, isn't it?
It's Bussley, yeah. It's not yeah, Bussley, yeah.
New in 1980.
Yeah.
So it obviously wasn't a very common one.
No, they didn't really go down very well.
Now we've got one or two here which people that go on North East Buses site will have seen. XUP 214V Volvo Duple 1980, new 1980, and this photo was taken 1983, as people that know that area will know, is the centre of Blanchland. Do you not know that bit, Graham?
It's not an area that I'm familiar with, but what's taken me on this photograph is not the bus, but are all the houses owned by somebody, because they all...
Oh yes, it's all part of... It's the pub in the centre is the Lord Crewe Arms, and the Crewe estate own it.
I wonder, because they all have blue doors and whatever.
It's actually on a current Weirdo route.
Right, but that doesn't surprise us.
No.
The moon's on a current thing.
Now then. GNL 839N Leyland Leopard Alexander, new to Tyne Weir PTE, but with Watsons of Anfield Plain.
What's the reg? Did you say it?
GNL 839N.
They even had one of them, didn't they, Graham?
We did, yeah.
And that photo was dated 1989, and this was much travelled because it ended up with Silcox of Pembroke Dock. Did yours come from the PTE?
No, it came from...
It was a GNL one, wasn't it, Graham?
the same place. Yeah, it was a GNL, yeah.
UUP 577K, ex Clerks of Consett, and it's still got Clark's name on it, 4192 Dufel, but if you twiddle with it, you can see the sticker for Watson's in it, so they'd either actually taken it over or they were just using it, but it was a bit battered at the side.
Is this Watson's of Antwerp player?
Ford R192 Duple, new in 72, and that was taken at Concert in July 78.
Watson's of Antwerp player were right behind a place called Castles, where I used to play the organ. We had some good top tunes on, such as the Grumbleweeds and various other, what at that time, the Bachelors and Fair. And these top people were sort of working with us, and I wasn't the slightest bit interested in them, because Watson's was right out the back, and when it was break time, I used to go out and see what was parked in the yard.
Right, the next two are the same bus, GNL 624L, Bedford YRQ Plaxton, new in 73 to Craigs of Amble. And this was on route 773, and this picture was taken at Baybridge, just west of Blanchland, if anybody knows it.
Looks nice.
And the next one, this was the terminus at Townfield, which is even further out. And this particular route, and that is still the terminus despite what you say, of the Weirdo bus that goes from Concert. Watson's again, OUP 266T Bedford YLQ Duple, new in 79 to Watson. As you can see, one of the bus offices, aren't you, just behind? Right, we've come to the last page now. Wilkinson's of Sedgefield, 654 BUP, Leyland Tiger Cub, Blackstone, new in 59, and that photo was taken at Blackpool. Now a different Wilkinson, South Shields, LCU 489P, Ford R114 Plaxton, new in February 76. And the photo was taken in March 76, so I presume that was probably outside their depot when...
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if that's Ken Wilkinson driving it actually. He'll probably be at the meeting when you show these, Chris, at the MBF.
Yes, I have met him.
Yes.
Yes.
He comes on sometimes on
Yeah.
the Fish and Chip Fridays.
Yes, I have met him. I think that's where I've met him, Graham, yeah. MJH278L, Leyland Leopard Plaxton, new 73 to Banfield of SE15, and this was taken 17th of January 1976. Now, an aside, Banfields were quite a peculiar company that relied completely on a contract to run the workers from all over northeast Kent and London to the Isle of Grain refinery when it was being built. And they were a little bit like Bedlington, they had something of everything. And there's a wonderful book written about them, which I have a copy of. It's a bit of an oddball book, but it was quite interesting. They had all sorts.
They still operate in Wilkinson's. They operate out of the Stagecoach depot at South Shields.
Yes, I think he was telling us that one. Right, now the last company we're coming to. Now this is one a lot of people will know. Wrights. 869EAO, Bedford SP1 Duple, new in 61, and this was from the depot in August 79. EMP 796B, Bedford J2 Plaxton, new in 64 to Mini Lux of Watford, and that photo was taken in 1980. VRM 100H, Bedford VAM 70 Plaxton, new in 70, and that's it. Haymarket, is it not? Or Marlborough Crescent? Marlborough Crescent, I think. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking it's where the market used to be. Yes, Marlborough Crescent. ORM 884M, Bedford SB3 Duple.
Jeff's looking at the LH.
New 74 February, location Newcastle 1974. RRM 915M Bedford YRQ Plaxton in 74, and this was taken in April 76.
They still have this, haven't they?
Is that one that they still have? I know he has got a couple of. He's still got Fun as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
TO 11603, originally WCO 740V, but I'm not sure what the body is on that one. If you can tell us, John, do you know any integral as well?
Integral, yeah. I mean, the body and then.
That's the last one.
That was very interesting, Chris. Very interesting.
As I say, that's made me sort my northeast slide collection out. They were all stored in the proper acid-free pockets, but they weren't in order.
That's just some of them, Chris.
It is, as you can see, some of the more well-known coach companies, like namely Gypsy Queen, Primrose.
First the sorting out.
It's a
New year again.
Sorry?
If
face the sorting out. Can we book you for
Well,
the
they are sorted out, but I just need to pick a few different ones out of the next lot. I haven't got to sort them again. They're sorted now. I just need to decide what I'm going to put into it.
Oh, thanks very much for that, Chris. Excellent.
And that's obviously, that one is at Marlborough Crescent, because you can see the clock from the market hall, can't you, in the background.
Excellent
Very good,
selection.
yes.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes. Thank you.
So in October I've got to do it again, Grant.
Yes, yes. I don't mind standing aside for you to do it for one in October.
No. I've got this one to do in October.
Oh, I
no,
see, right.
I'm in Barley Mow doing
Yeah.
this one in October.
Yes.
No, I can't do two in October because I'm also away in October. I'm treating myself to go to the Omnibus Society weekend, the whole weekend.
Oh, yes, yes. Is that the presidential thing, is it?
Mm.
Yeah,
I'm not doing the presidential dinner though. I've opted out of that one.
yeah. Right. Who's the president this time then? Is it this woman from Blackpool
Mm.
Transport?
But the reason I really want to go is because they're doing a tour into the preserved tram shed, which is not normally open to the public.
Right.
But next year's president, that will be an interesting presidential weekend. Delaney,
Delane.
yeah. Because he's got some nice stuff, hasn't he?
He has,
He's
yeah.
got a museum as well of his own.
He has an excellent fleet.
Mm.
Anyway, formal thanks, Chris. That was excellent. That wide-ranging, both geographically and in the types of the buses shown.
But wasn't it noticeable,
great.
Bill, how many, at that period of time, how many people in the independent sector used Bedfords?
Yes. Yes.
Cheap, cheerful,
Yeah.
reliable-ish.
That's
Of all classes of Bedford, but
yeah, that's how I remember it. The,
Mm.
the later one where you had the Tyne Valley Leopard
Mm.
standing outside the Newcastle station, you sort of think, "Ooh, that's a bit posh." You're right. You just accepted that the
Mm.
independents. Some of them would have Fords. The vast majority were Bedfords.
You could buy three Fords or three Bedfords for the price of two Leopards.
That's it. That's it, John. That's it. Posh. Anyway, thank you very much once again, Chris.
well, if you want the other
You
in the new year, next year, you can have it.
You can do a follow-up to this, and we've still got you in the diary
Mm.
for the tour and the follow-up talk.
Yeah, but
to that
unfortunately, we
place.
need to do the tour first.
Yes, yeah, fully understood. So, anyway, that's it. We'll formally close the meeting, but, you know, everybody just wants to sit around and natter, please feel free to do so. Just a reminder of Norman Simpson's spare seat for the whole big bus.
Yeah,
Yeah. If
Are
there's
they having
anybody-
that at the Transport Museum?
I think so.
That's so. But even without Big Buster, that Transport Museum is well worth a visit.
Oh yeah, yes.
Because when I was down in Bridlington in February,
Yeah.
I went to Hull for the day deliberately to go there, and it's
Yeah.
well worth a visit.
Oh yeah. We were down there a few
Mm.
years ago with 106. If you
When
remember.
Rob first got his Leopard, you know.
Uh-huh.
Not sorry,
Yeah.
when Rob first got his LH,
His LH, yes. Go on.
we gate crashed this event,
Yes.
and we managed somehow to get ourselves in. And when we got in, there was hell on.
Yeah, but it was right because it had been an East Yorkshire bus.
It had been.
Because
Yes.
it was a driver trainer with
Yes.
East Yorkshire, so it was an
And
East Yorkshire bus.
Ship was quite pleased to see it,
Oh,
but the manager of the museum complex, because it's more than one museum, isn't
Yes, yes.
yeah.
it? Wasn't happy at all because we'd sort of got in without an invitation.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's fairly cramped. Where
yes.
the other buses anyway.
Yes, and I think there were. I think Rob got some harsh words like.
Yeah.
So,
But that'll go
I
just
am
over his
concerned.
head.
I mean,
It's just-
Rob
yeah.
would worry about that. Yeah, yeah.
It was like on yesterday. We didn't go down the town with Rob. We went up to the duck pond
Oh,
around
right.
Whitburn.
Yeah.
The old road.
That was it.
He
Yeah.
says when we got on, 'cause did you see us trying to get Shirley on the bus?
No, no, I didn't. Sorry.
We didn't go to the bus stop. She decided because Rob was just going out as we got there that she wanted. Sorry if I'm that
Mhm.
she wanted to ride Rob. So we had to get her on the bus. So Rob was there and I had my shoulder, we got her on the bus. And then Rob says, good, you're coming, you can tell me the way, because I can't really remember it, because you know he's always getting lost.
Oh, he always says he.
So yes, we went up the old route and ran by the duck pond, through
Yeah.
the village. And
I was just thinking Rob's LH. I renewed my CPC card 2 or 3 years ago and just put the money Darren Kendrew's way and went down and did it in Hull. A few nice trips out, but they've got their gallery of buses and people and so on.
Yes.
The LH is in the middle of it all.
Worst place we got a welcome, the worst place we were ever welcomed was Rob and I took the bus just after we'd got it. We went to the Ribble Open Day, Ribble Running Day at Morecambe, and we were made about paying about as welcome as a part in a phone box. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
it depends. I mean, I got one side of that. I was talking to somebody yesterday, sort of getting very uptight about people who just turn up, you know, and you've got no documentation and so on. But our running day, we've always sort of, yes, please enter. Makes life a lot easier. But if you just want to come, we'll be delighted to see you.
Well,
I mean, it's easy enough to check somebody's licence these days to check that the bus is tax tested and insured, isn't
yes.
it?
Well, it went,
You know,
and I'm sure if Rob
very
watches,
easy.
he'll confirm this. It went something like, when we got there, well, what have you come for? And when we left, they never even said goodbye, kissed me, asked them.
Oh, you
know? Oh, that's true, aye, yes. I'm sure if you ask Rob, he'll
Oh, come
confirm
on.
that.
Thank you for coming.
No, we never got any of that.
least. Good night.
And Rachel's making a long journey in a fortnight, Bill.
Good.
He's going to Dundee with it.
Oh, yes, he said,
Yes.
sorry, didn't he?
To the yes, because it's Strathspey at the Dundee Museum.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what he said yesterday, yeah. Gets all over the place, that beautiful machine. How's his Malta LH coming on?
I think he's been that busy with his
He's diff.
his